Good morning. This is Timothy Milquetoast, anchor for the Abolition News Network. This is February 1st, 1850, and we have on the program with us today the Reverend William Whippet, minister from the Church of the Heavenly and Beloved Lamb. Reverend Whippet has just met Quaker abolitionist Levi Coffin on a steamer ship trip down the Mississippi River to Vicksburg for a scholarly discussion on the subject of slavery. Welcome, Reverend Whippet.
How do you do, Mr. Meatloaf?
Actually, it's Milquetoast. So you met the famous Levi Coffin, president of the Underground Railroad. How did that go?
Well, quite well. I always wanted to meet a Quaker and a professor of religion. Now, he had said that he had already seen very little fruits of religion in the South.
Okay. Now, what did you say to that? You know the South really well.
Well, nothing. We were interrupted by the first mate, who was swearing at the deckhands. Those lazy slaves must always be hurried along.
That seems to be a generality about black slaves. How could you say that?
Well, one of the slaves said he had to go home to get a new shirt because his was torn. The first mate was swearing at him, but he went off anyway. The first mate and his friends went after him, caught him, brought him back arms tied with a rope around his neck. They strung him up so his feet just touched the deck. This is common practice for those disobedient slaves.
So trying to get a clean shirt is a crime? Did the slave have any rights?
No, none that a white man was bound to respect. Everyone was invited to watch the beatings. Now, Mr. Coffin said he agreed the slave should be punished, but he didn't watch. Now, after the beatings, the slave's wounds were washed with salt and water. Then dinner was announced and we all adjourned to the dining room.
Oh, then you just sat down to dinner. Didn't it bother you a little that this poor man was tortured?
No, I'm a preacher, plus a slaveholder. Those slaves must be made to obey and fear that whip.
Oh, yes, I can see why Mr. Coffin thought that. He probably thought that the golden rule should be applied here. You know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
No, if you lived in the South, you'd lose those tender notions about slavery. Well, I left from my plantation after that to New Orleans.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you, Reverend Whippet, for letting us in on your distinguished Southern viewpoint for our Northern viewers.
Yes?
Reverend Whippet, I have some bad news for you. Well, some of the girls from the front office and I decided to run an experiment on your horse, you know, since you like whipping so well. And, well, we each took turns flogging your horse and with different sticks and whips. And after about 40 lashes, he finally reared up, snorting and foaming at the mouth. And, well, he ran away, and I don't think he's coming back.
Mr. Milquetoast, did you hear what she did? That's cruelty to an animal. That hurts his feelings.
You're right. And it's cruel to whip human beings like that. They have feelings too.
She may be right, you know. And you're right. Animals and horses, people, they all have feelings, and whipping any of them is just plain mean. Well, this is Timothy Milquetoast for the Abolition News Network, and we'll be back after we find Reverend Whippet a new horse and after these messages.